Facebook Live. It is Wednesday. It is the evening. It's like 6:30, and I'm waiting for Lucia to be done with soccer. And I'm doing my live today. So it's going to be Easter to Easter. So I just started these live videos. No, nothing really scripted, just what's alive in me and sharing with you, hoping that you take away something, food for thought. I tend to find that when I do this, you can start noticing some themes sometimes. It's like what's up in the air. It's like there can be a sequence to things. So if you relate to this, it's for you. If not, it's not for you. But yeah, I hope you find value in this. That's my goal. That's my intention. Okay, so I named this one, every unprocessed emotion that we do not feel accrues interest. So let that sit for a moment. I work with emotions. I have been for a very long time. I'm very comfortable speaking about emotions, and not everybody is, of course. And I was not always this way myself. So I understand. I completely understand when it may be difficult to speak about your feelings. It might be difficult to identify what you're feeling. And it definitely might be very uncomfortable to express it to someone, anyone. And to hear yourself out loud can be very, very scary. But there's something that I really wanted to bring up to the table and give you this food for thought for tonight, and that is that it goes somewhere. And you know what? Somebody has to let us know. Somebody has to remind us. And I'm okay being the one to remind you that whatever you did not process, any emotion that you suppressed, that like if you pretended like it didn't bother you, any things that was a depleting emotion that happened in the moment, and you did not go through the emotion because it was way too uncomfortable. It was perhaps a shock, and it could have been a small thing, could have been a big thing. And if we did not take the time to go through the natural progression of the emotion, because emotions, they range. It's a range of emotions that go from despair, grief, all the way up to joy. But anything that in the lower side of the grid, or like if we see emotions in a grid, or if we see them as, I think the easiest way is incoherent or depleting, which are all the negative emotions, but I don't see them as bad. They're not bad. They're simply don't feel good. Not looking at them and not processing that energy will go somewhere if we do not work through it, and it will start accruing interest. So whatever way it arrives to you to work through those emotions, there's no need to wait anymore. May this be your reminder. Again, if it's for you, if this lands for you, it's for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Maybe you can remind someone in some way. There are many ways in which to work through emotions. So many ways, like innumerable ways, and we want to go for healthy ways to process them, because there can be also unhealthy ways to process them. But the important thing to note is that you will not bypass at any moment. Like you cannot get away from paying that debt that has been accruing, that interest that has been accruing in any unprocessed emotion. So I'll give you an example. So like I think that, when I was 17, my mom enrolled me and my brother into a training program, and it was intense. It was like an intense psychotherapy uh, retreat, so to speak. It was like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And me and my brother had never done anything like this, and we were really like shocked of why my mom enrolled us and didn't ask us, and we were teenagers. So, but now looking back, having my own teenagers, my mom was really trying her best to raise us and for us to find ways to process emotions. and of course, I was not an easy teenager, especially me. I think it was mostly for me. My brother was such a good boy. He was so good. And my mom and I really butted heads. Like, I was not easy. I was extremely mad. But I was a good girl. So internally, I was not happy at all, but I obeyed because I was a good girl. Like, I was always at the top of my classes. I was always like, in Mexico. Yeah, there was something called the escolta, which is like you carry the flag. I was the one that carried the flag because my grades were the best. So I checked all the boxes about the things that I was supposed to do, but internally I did not know how to process emotions. And I did not, but I was not rebellious in a way where I was, acting out. My way of acting out was to be mad. And so when my mom enrolled us in that training, boy, like that is, and I've shared this in other videos, that's when I decided that I wanted to do what that trainer did. Because when we started that training, there was a group of us, and so when everybody went up to the front to introduce themselves, and I remember everybody kind of looking really like down and doom and gloom and like, why are we here? And by the end of like that Sunday night, like, there was so much love. And what I always remember is looking at the twinkle in people's eyes and how beautiful they looked. And I wanted to know how that man had done what he had done, which was just talk to us. And it was about processing emotions. And so, for the 17 years that I had lived so far, I had a lot of emotions to process. When I thought going in there, like, what am I doing here? I have nothing, I have not gone through trauma. I have not gone through, but there was a lot of life experiences at that stage. We had, moved, multiple times. I had gone to, already 9, elementary schools total. And, so yeah, there was a lot of moving parts. Hi, Bhavani. Hi, Thomas. Oh, hi, RJ. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I wanted to keep this short. Now Lucia's coming. But my point is that unprocessed emotions, we have to find a way. And there are so many ways. So maybe type in here, please. That would be super fun. Like, in what ways? And so the many ways, I'll just share real quick about the way that was the first way that I learned, was, nowadays I can associate that training to something called Landmark. It was not Landmark. It was like a version in Mexico, through our trainer Victor, who had been trained in. And so that was, one way. If you're familiar with Landmark, look it up. In fact, I've done Landmark now. Also, Landmark has been pivotal in my evolution, and processing emotions. That's a huge piece of my evolution. Also, got so many. Heart math, of course, has been a pivotal piece in learning to self-regulate emotions. Abraham Hicks, of course, learning about the emotional scale. Dr. Joe Dispenza, the Power versus Force from you know who I'm referring to, the scale of consciousness. So many ways to be emotionally intelligent. I think that emotional intelligence is one of the most important things for a human to understand, is how we operate. So the food for thought for you for today is perhaps making that inventory. You know, it's tax day here in the United States, like next week. And so we pay our taxes and we go through our checks and balances. Check and balance your emotional, your credits, all your the income, but also check what are your debts. What unprocessed emotions have you shoved to the side, not want to look at? You know, it could be childhood, because they go somewhere. They go somewhere, and we eventually they will come out. They will manifest in some form. It could manifest in relationships, patterns. It could manifest in the body, in the physical body, in illness, dis-ease. And you don't need to get to that point. So that's why I really want to be the one that tells you and to remind you, find a way. Reach out to someone, to some form, to some process, whatever speaks to you. Let guidance show you, let your heart guidance, let your intuition guide you to what is going to work for you. Because there's just so many ways, and so whatever feels exciting, even even slightly scary, make a commitment to take that one step, and then just allow things to unfold. All right, I'll leave it at that. Have a beautiful night. Bye, RJ. Bye, Thomas. Bye, Bhavani. Sending lots of love.